So the next offensive set is called motion low. Motion low is phenomenal against a 1-3-1 or a 3-2 zone. And let me show you how. You guys already learned the terminology that we have in terms of positioning, right? You just learned slot, right? You've learned free throw line extended in terms of positions, right? You've learned wing. You've learned corner, and you've learned block. You've also learned elbow, right? And then also you learn the nail. So the nail is the center spot of the free throw line. So that's called the nail. And you also learn, in terms of terminology, you also learn the house. At Finesse basketball, we don't refer to the key as the key, we refer to it as the house. Okay, so you also learn the house. Okay, the motion low is, instead of this guy being at the wing, right, he's now positioned in the corner. Instead of this guy being on the wing, he's now positioned in the corner, right? And then instead of these two guys being at the slot, they're still at the slot. Let's say this is a slot. So if you drew, imagine a vertical line from the elbow up, they're just outside of the slot, right? So what do you think? And then obviously the basketball's here, right? Then this guy's on the opposite side. The big is on the opposite side block, and he can flash. He can flash to the strong side at any point in time, okay? Right, so again, this is against a 3-2. Why is it against a 3-2? So generally, when we set up a 3-2 defense, I want the guys who are at the slot to be a little bit higher, right? We want to open up spacing, okay? All right, so now if you have a defense, here is your first defender here. Here's your second defender here. Third defender is here. Fourth defender is going to be right here. Fifth defender is going to be right here. Okay? So as you would imagine, right, in any zone, where's the weak spot in every single zone? It's going to be the middle area for sure. On any zone, any full court press, it's always going to be the middle, right? But against 3-2, this is a weak spot right here, in between this gap. This is a weak spot in between this gap, right? But the other open area is also the corners. The corners, right? Against any 2-3 that you see, against any 3-2 that you see, right? This is going to be guaranteed open. Now, does that mean if you're super open, you should just shoot the basketball? Not always, right? If you're a great shooter, obviously we wanna encourage guys who are great shooters to shoot the basketball. But really, we want to get this defense to move, right? Because a lot of times, a lot of teams, they run a zone because they can't guard you man-to-man. Which means, a lot of times, you want to be able to attack the house, right? If we get the basketball, we don't want to settle for that three because it's going to be open. We want to be able to attack the house, and we want to create some penetration. We want to see if the defense is actually going to be able to shift, right? But the default is, in any zone, these guys are not really guarding you. They're guarding an area. Why is that important? If this guy just tries to make a pass to this guy, number one, the distance is not one pass away, so that's going to get stolen, right? We want to be able to close that distance to our teammate to always pass one pass away. We never want to make passes that are 2 passes away distance, all right? But because this guy's guarding the area, I want them to guard. So what that means is I want to force this guy to guard me. So how I do that is I'm going to attack this gap. I don't have to have the guy directly in front of me, but as soon as I see a little form of commitment and I see his chest in front of me, that's the ultimate indicator that this guy has now committed to the basketball. So now guess what, right? This guy right here, guess who's going to be open, right? And then typically in a motion low, and this is actually a correction on my fault, so this is my fault. The opposite side block, that guy, he's no longer opposite side block for motion low. He's staying right here in the middle, and he's trying to find the open area in the middle. So again, correction, motion low, he's not on the opposite side block, he's hanging out here, okay? If the ball is in the slot, the big man is right here with his hands straight up, looking for the basketball, and we're trying to hit him. Because if we can hit him in the house, everyone collapses, then we have a bunch of shooters and attackers wide open, okay? But now, once we have the basketball here, if we can't get it here, we always want to attack this guy, force this guy to guard, then guess who's wide open? This guy right here is going to be wide open. Once the basketball is swung, right, This guy who's in the slot, he's gonna go right here, right? And then now these guys have to make a decision. This guy has a long closeout, which means, guess what? If he has a long closeout, we're always gonna have an easy drive on him, right? But now let's just say these guys reconfigure. This guy's guarding here. This guy has a big problem because he has to try to make a decision of what he's gonna do, okay? Is he gonna guard this guy here? Is he not, right? If he tries to help here, oh, sorry, my bad. Once the basketball is swung to the corner, we want our big man to be about here, right? We want him to be in a position that's open. He's not necessarily going into the elbow, right? Because this guy's here. We want to make this guy make a decision. So he wants to be below. Because what happens is, right, as soon as this guy catches, and this is the beauty of the offense, right? As soon as this guy catches, his job is to attack. If our big man is here and he beats him, their help side is naturally going to have to reconfigure here. If he gets this drive, our big man is going to dive, right? But let's just say for whatever reason he doesn't get this drive. If he kicks it here, then potentially, then this guy can dive. Our corner guy can dive looking for an easy duck in, right? Or he pops back out. But generally in this offense, right, once the ball is swung, so let's say this guy right here, right, this guy swings it, he attacks him, he gets into a gauge, he kicks it. I don't want this guy to cut through. I don't want him to cut through because if he cuts through, no one's going to follow him. I want him to be in a position where he can attack again, or we can swing the basketball. So if he kicks it here, this is where the big is going to be, the other guard's going to be here, they're going to be right here, right? And then this guard is going to drop. Can you guys see that? And then this guard here is also going to drop, right? So we want to take advantage. If the ball gets swung here, 99.9% of the time, the opposite side is going to be open. And then we just play together, we be patient. But the job for motion low is, you're trying to attack the middle spot, or you're trying to get the basketball to the corners. But the only way you can do that, is from initially forcing guys to guard you. Forcing one of these guys to have to guard. Attack, then kick, then flash to an open spot. This guy's gonna flash, big man's gonna find the open space, and then they play from that. But that's motion low. This is also gonna work well against a 1-3-1. So if I set this up here, like this, bang, bang. If they set up a 1-3-1, it's gonna look like this. One guy's here, one guy's here, one guy's here, one guy's here, and then one guy's low. Guess which area is going to be, now I have my 4 out. Look at the space, look at the areas we're attacking. Look at the areas, right? I want to attack this gap, force this guy to guard me. This guy's going to be open. The big man, and this guy has a long closeout. Our big man, if the ball's in the slot, he's always going to be in the middle trying to front this guy. If the ball gets swung to the corner, he's flashing to below the elbow in that open space, right? If he catches it, our corners can dive. If our big man catches it on the elbow, corners can dive, right? If the corner guys drive, our big man can dive. And that's essentially motion low. It's very effective, but the most important thing is attacking the defense, attacking the gaps, forcing guys to guard, creating opportunities for your teammates so that we can score more points in the house. The only type of threes we want to get, I don't want to get the, it's very important that you guys notice, we don't want to get the swing threes, right? I'm not saying if a person's open, they can make those threes, cool, but the most natural threes are if we can get penetration into the key and then get that kick out, right? Those are the most natural threes because it's just like how you train, catch and shoot, right? If the ball is coming from the key, it's a lot easier to catch, and those are more rhythm threes as opposed to passing along the three-point line. So that's motion low. You can use it against a 1-3-1 or a 3-2. The wing guy, once he kicks to the corner, he is not cutting through. They are staying in those positions, and they're staying one pass away.